Can you guess a country where children walk miles for dirty water, while one man buys a diamond-encrusted watch for the price of a hospital? A nation where teachers haven't been paid in months. Yet, the president's son just unboxed his third Bugatti. This is Africa, under the rule of presidential royalty. Men born into power, raised in palaces, and taught that their people exist only to fund their decadence. And when the world tries to hold them accountable, they laugh, because they know the truth. In Africa, if your last name is on the presidential palace, you are untouchable. This is the story of the men who turned poverty into profit, nations into personal banks, and corruption into an art form. These are Africa's presidential sons. Welcome back to Bad People, where we deep dive into the most mind-boggling cases. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss any episode. Teodoro Nguema Obiang Mange, known to the world as Teodorine, embodies the unchecked excess of Africa's political dynasties. As the son of Equatorial Guinea's long-ruling dictator Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, he didn't merely step into power, he was handed a kingdom built on oil wealth and systematic looting. His life reads like a script for a Hollywood villain: a $30 million Malibu mansion, a private collection of rare Bugattis and Ferraris, and the ultimate flex, Michael Jackson's $275,000 crystal-studded glove. Yes, that Michael Jackson. While 75% of Equatorial Guinea's population struggled without clean water or reliable electricity.
The minute you hear, or I hear, load shedding, I just go like, oh my goodness, God, please just be with us.
Teodorine treated the treasury like his personal credit card. He acquired a $120 million super yacht named Ebony Shine, a fleet of luxury cars so extensive that Swiss authorities seized and auctioned 11 of them, including a $2.8 million Koenigsegg and a $2 million Bugatti Veyron. French investigators later uncovered his $180 million Paris estate, complete with Degas and Renoir paintings. The world finally took notice. The US Justice Department forced him to surrender assets in 2014, declaring his spending a corruption-fueled spree. France convicted him of embezzlement in 2017, slapping him with a $30 million fine and seizing his properties. The UK imposed sanctions, freezing his accounts and banning his entry. Yet back home, where his father still rules as Africa's longest-serving dictator, Teodorine remains untouchable, holding the title of vice president next in line for the throne. The message is clear: steal enough, and even international courts can't strip you of power. Muammar Gaddafi didn't govern Libya, he owned it, and his sons. They treated the country like a private amusement park. While Libyans faced repression and poverty, the Gaddafi heirs lived like modern-day pharaohs, their excesses so extreme they bordered on parody.
كنا متحمسين لصناعة القنبلة الذرية من وقت ما قامت الثورة.
Mutassim Gaddafi, the regime's security chief, once dropped over $1 million in a single night to party with Beyoncé and Mariah Carey in the Caribbean. His brother Saadi, a failed footballer, bought a $16 million London mansion and used Libya's sovereign wealth fund to bribe his way onto European teams. When he wasn't assaulting hotel staff in Geneva or snorting cocaine in Parisian nightclubs, he was burning through suitcases of cash, literally. His ex-girlfriend, a Bulgarian dancer, recalled how he traveled with a black suitcase stuffed with bills, demanding to be called Engineer Saadi while slapping servants who displeased him. Their playground was a coastal compound outside Tripoli, a sprawling estate of Malibu-style villas with infinity pools, marble floors, and a private zoo. Rebel fighters who stormed it in 2011 found half-empty bottles of Dom Perignon, designer wardrobes, and a white leather bed still scattered with Fendi cushions. Hannibal Gaddafi's villa featured beheaded Roman statues, while Mutassim's cliffside bachelor pad boasted a chrome bar stocked with Johnny Walker Blue Label. When the Arab Spring reached Libya, the fantasy collapsed. Mutassim was captured and likely executed by rebels. Saadi fled to Niger before being extradited. The family's $200 billion fortune, looted from oil revenues, vanished into offshore accounts. Today, Libya remains fractured, its institutions hollowed out by decades of theft. The Gaddafis are gone, but their legacy lingers. A masterclass in how to bankrupt a nation while living like gods. Denny Cristal Sassou Nguesso, known to the privileged circles as Kiki, perfected the art of turning state funds into personal luxury. As the son of Republic of Congo's long-ruling president, Denis Sassou Nguesso, he transformed his birthright into a global money laundering operation that would make Wall Street bankers blush. While nearly half of Congo's population survived on less than $1.90 a day,
there are no hospitals. The nearest one is 2 hours away. We have to walk there, even at night. No one is coming to help us.
Kiki's credit card receipts told a different story. $50,000 vanished in a single afternoon on Parisian designer boutiques. Another $300,000 on Swiss watches, all charged to accounts fed by the nation's oil revenues. Global Witness investigators uncovered his elaborate scheme. $50 million siphoned through a labyrinth of shell companies from Cyprus to Delaware, disguised as payments for sham infrastructure projects. His Cypriot front company, Gabox Limited, miraculously won a $50 million subcontract for geological surveys just 2 days after incorporation, despite having no employees or operational history. The money trail led to luxury properties in Dubai, a secret portfolio of European investments, and a lifestyle that included private jet trips to fashion weeks and champagne-fueled parties on the French Riviera. French courts froze his assets. Portuguese authorities investigated his enablers. Yet, in Brazzaville, Kiki remained untouchable. His father's security forces made sure of that. The same year investigators exposed his theft, Kiki posted Instagram photos of himself vacationing on yachts while Congolese children died from preventable diseases in crumbling clinics.
Funds were needed to save lives during the world's worst outbreak of the infectious disease.
The message was clear. In Congo's kleptocracy, presidential sons operate above the law, turning national resources into personal piggy banks while their people starve. For 56 years, the Bongo family treated Gabon as their private kingdom, with Ali Bongo ensuring his sons inherited both power and privilege. Noureddin Bongo Valentin, the heir apparent, mastered the family business of state looting before he turned 30. The Pandora Papers revealed his secret offshore network, shell companies in tax havens controlling hundreds of millions, a $138 million Paris mansion hidden behind nominee directors, and a personal investment fund that functioned as a slush fund for the ruling clan. While Gabon's hospitals lacked even the basic medicines and teachers went months without pay, Noureddin's Instagram showed a life of private jets, rare sports cars, and shopping sprees in London's most exclusive boutiques. His younger brother Jalil enjoyed similar privileges: Swiss boarding schools, a fleet of armored Mercedes, and a security detail paid from the state budget. The brothers embodied the Bongo system, where the nation's oil wealth flowed upward to the presidential palace, while ordinary Gabonese struggled with 40% unemployment.
Jobs are not taken into account when it could be a springboard for some young people who didn't have any other.
The family's excess knew no bounds. Ali Bongo's sister, Pascaline, racked up $86 million in private jet bills in 2 years, while the president himself owned 39 luxury properties in France alone. But the party ended when Gabon's military stormed the palace in 2023. As soldiers arrested Nuruddin on corruption charges, they filmed themselves uncovering bags of cash stashed in his bedroom.
The young Bongo denied that it was all loot. They claim all that cash was campaign funds. Remember, this is days after the election took place in Gabon. Either way, the excuse has not worked. The young Bongo and his cabinet director have been arrested, as have others who were part of the Ali Bongo regime.
The coup ended the Bongo dynasty, but the damage remained. A nation stripped bare by its rulers, its treasury emptied, its institutions corrupted beyond recognition. The Bongo sons may have fallen from power, but their legacy of theft will haunt Gabon for generations. The Dos Santos siblings were Angola's most extreme example of a powerful family taking wealth from their country. Isabel dos Santos, once praised as Africa's richest woman with $3.5 billion, and her brother José Filomeno dos Santos, known as Zenu, didn't earn this money. They took it by using the country's resources. As Angola tried to recover from a long civil war, with broken roads and half the population living in poverty, the president's children grew rich. José Filomeno's plan was bold. While leading Angola's $5 billion national wealth fund, he secretly moved $500 million from the central bank to a UK bank account in 2017, just before his father left office. That money ended up in Swiss banks and offshore businesses, while regular Angolans waited in long lines for fuel. Once investigators found the money trail, José became the first in the family to be convicted. He got 5 years in prison for fraud and abuse of power.
The son of Angola's former president has been jailed for 5 years for fraud after $500 million was transferred from the National Bank of Angola to an account in the UK.
Isabel's plan was more complex, but just as bold. The Luanda leaks showed she had a web of 400 fake companies in places like Malta, Dubai, and Portugal. Through these, she moved billions out of state-owned companies like the oil firm Sonangol and telecom company Unitel. She bought a $35 million yacht, a $15 million mansion in London, and shares in Portugal's top media company, while hospitals in Angola didn't even have basic supplies. Her $100 million investment in a Swiss jewelry brand failed when reporters published her leaked financial records.
Isabel dos Santos will have to return more than 400 million euros worth of shares to the Angola.
As courts in Angola, Portugal, and the Netherlands froze $1.5 billion of her assets, Isabel ran to Dubai. She claims she's innocent and refuses to return for trial. Her brother is in jail, their father died in exile, but the stolen billions are still hidden in banks. The Dos Santos story remains Africa's biggest warning. A family who turned power into wealth while their country suffered. Africa continues to be regarded as a poor continent, while in fact it is rich beyond comprehension. From oil and gas in Nigeria and Libya, diamonds in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Botswana, to nickel and uranium in Burundi, there is an abundance of minerals and resources. But with leaders like these, and weak punishments for prosecuted officials, it may take some time for the continent to realize its true potential. Perhaps most importantly, politicians need to learn that it is better to build a prosperous country than to commit economic sabotage and divert your own country's wealth to a foreign nation.